This A-Team adventure is called Follow That Chicken. You can read along with me in your book. You will know it is time to turn the page when you hear this.
In 1972, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team.
A small backwoods country town has been terrorized by a series of unpleasant crimes which the local police are unable to solve. Then, unexpectedly, they come across evidence which leads directly and conclusively to a local newcomer, Brad Harper. Until now, Brad has been looked on as a fine young man who has come into the district to try to reopen an old mine that has been left to him by a distant relative. Now that he appears to be a vicious criminal, public opinion of him changes. What else can you expect from a stranger, a man from the city? It's only to be expected that he will cause trouble. And his wife Julie is ignored by those who, up till now, have been her friends. She seems a nice girl, but who knows what she's likely to do? Brad protests his innocence, but in vain. He is locked in the local jail, but his crimes are so serious that soon he is to be moved to a more secure prison. Julie is confused and doesn't know which way to turn. She knows that her husband is incapable of committing the crimes for which he stands convicted. She has no relatives, and no one in the town will help her. She is at home, way out of town, near the mine, trying to decide what's best to do for her husband, when she is surprised by the arrival of a party of soldiers. They tell her that they have come to seize the mine on behalf of the government, and that she must not leave the house for any reason. Something about the soldiers is not quite right. So she decides she must leave town. No one will listen to her fears. The soldier's story is accepted. How can she get out without being seen? There is only one way that she can think of. The soldiers search the town for her, but she is nowhere to be found. Roadblocks are set up, and all vehicles are stopped. She is not on any of them. The drivers insist that she is the last woman they will help. As the officer who seems to be in charge leaves the general store, he remembers a remark made to him by the storekeeper.
Good thing we're rid of that husband of hers. Prison guards bust him out an hour since.
The officer realizes what Julie has done.
Somehow she must have smuggled herself aboard the prison bus. She knew we'd not bother to stop that.
So, now what do we do? She's bound to tell what's going on here.
No problem.
They phone the prison with an anonymous tip-off telling them to search the bus. Julie is discovered and tries to explain what has happened to her, but the prison officer is convinced that she is trying to help her husband to escape. If she persists with her story, she will be arrested too. She sees her husband led into the prison. What can she do now? When all else fails, there's only one thing to do. She manages to contact the A-Team. She tells Hannibal her story.
Well, we've got no reason to love the Army, but they certainly don't sound like the GIs we used to know.
Do you think they're phony?
There's one sure way to find out.
The A-Team get into their van. Hannibal opens the back door for Julie.
You get in behind us, Harper. We need you to show us around that mine of yours. You'd better keep out of sight.
DA drives. The engine roars into life, and the A-Team van sets off on its journey into a new adventure. On the way, Julie tells the team about the town they are making for.
They raise a lot of chickens there. In fact, most people make a living out of chickens. And someone has been going around at night killing chickens, just for fun. You can understand the people hating anyone who would do a thing like that.
Where was your husband when all this was going on?
At the mine.
Alone?
Yes, he always worked alone.
Too bad he didn't have a partner. Give him an alibi.
The man did come
At last they arrive. With Face now driving and Julie beside him to give directions, they make a detour to avoid the town and stop behind some trees at a place where they can observe the entrance to the Harper mine. They are some distance away, but they can see the small homestead with uniformed men and army vehicles outside. Julie is surprised.
That watchtower isn't ours. They must have built it.
Hannibal takes out a cigar.
They're not leaving anything to chance. Must be important. I'd like to know what's going on in there.
Murdoch shudders.
We'd never get anywhere near them without being seen. And those uniforms give me bad vibes.
Hannibal reassures him.
There's no need for any of us to go any closer than we are right now. Seems the right time to try out the latest piece of hardware. Pass me that box, Face.
Hannibal opens the box and carefully takes out a bullet using a pair of forceps. He holds it up for them to see.
This little beauty contains a high-impact resistant bugging device. We put it into a cartridge, fire it from a silenced rifle, and listen to every word those guys are saying.
Hannibal loads the rifle with a special bullet and takes careful aim.
Could hate to hit anybody.
The bullet flies through an open window and lodges in the doorframe of the main room. It works. They hear the men discussing their plans. Leaving Face to record on tape all that is said, Julie leads the others to a disused entrance to the mine. Hannibal wants to find out what's going on inside it. When the music stops, turn your cassette over.